Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Nancy and I am So Cozy Stitching on Instagram. Thanks for joining me today. I'm back outside on my patio. It's kind of bright, so I hope that the video turns out okay. And I didn't do a video last week because um, my husband had been home on vacation and I really hadn't stitched on a whole lot. In fact, there was even a few days I hadn't stitched. And when I did stitch, it was on my sheep virtues, so I just didn't really think there was a whole lot to show. So I decided to take a week off and come back to you today. Today is May 30th, 2021. But I'm not sure when you're going to see the video. It depends on how long it takes to upload. I'm hoping that you will see it on Memorial Day. But who knows? It could be June 1st. We'll see. Also, I have a lot to show, so it may be in 2 parts, maybe 3 parts. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I will let you know as the video progresses. Um, we have our yard is all done, and the garden is all planted. The flowers are all planted. The mulch is all laid, and the garden is gorgeous. It's coming up really, really well. I did have to replant my carrots. They never did come up, and I had to replant some of my green beans because they were very sparse where they were coming up. I think I had like 3 plants in one bed and 2 in another. So anyway, and the wind, it's always blowing in Idaho, right? So I was bringing everything out here. It was just gorgeous. Came out to sit down to start videoing, and the wind came up. So we'll just have to deal with it today. And hopefully my neighbors aren't too loud. There's like, I don't know what's going on, but like 2 houses to the east of me, um, they were up and going and just really loud since 9 o'clock yesterday morning. They went till after midnight last night, and then because they were so loud, the dog that's between our house and their house was barking, and um, yeah, and then they finally settled down after midnight, and then they're bright and early this morning up, and it's almost like they're having a party there, but there's not like hardly any cars on the road that would indicate there's a lot of people there. So I don't know if there's a lot of people there or they're just really noisy. So hopefully they won't be too bad and you won't be able to hear them. Need a drink. My drink today is lemonade with pear syrup and grape syrup in it. If you have been to Red Robin and you've had their prickly pear drink, this is what it tastes like, and it is so good. Sundays, my soda shop that I go to and get my daily soda is not open, and so I thought, well, I'm going to try making this one myself. It is really good. Anyway, I think I need to tweak it a little bit because it's a little bit tart. I just don't think I put enough water in with lemonade when I mixed the lemonade up because all I had is the concentrate, but it's pretty good. Okay, let's get into this. I have a couple of fully finishes. I have one finish. I have 2 finishes. Well, one's a finish and one's a semi-finish. I have one whip. I have plans for June. I have quilting. And I have something else that I made this past week. So let's get right into this. Okay, so the first fully finished I have is my May by Little House Needleworks. And I chose the blue fabric. Just made it again into the wall quilt just the way I've been making all the other ones. This one I did attach a little bulb pin. And these little pins, you can get a whole bunch of them for very, very reasonably priced on Amazon. I'll never have to buy another one again. I have tons of them because they come in like a package of 500. So anyway, and then I just put a little button. This is some seam binding ribbon, and then this is just a little daisy that I cut off of a piece of trim, and I just attached it onto there. Just simple. I don't want anything fancy. I'm not into the big bows and all that fancy stuff. So that was the first thing that I fully finished. And then this next thing I stitched up for the Blackbird Weekend Sal that Brenda and Laura are hosting. I think it's hashtag BBD Weekend Sal on Instagram. And I had stitched this up the first weekend in May, and I finally fully finished it. So what this is I'm not sure what it is. It's a box that I got at Michael's, and it was in their unfinished wood section, and they were clearancing them out for 50 cents a piece. So I bought all they had. I think they had square, and they had round, and they might have had a rectangle shaped one. They had different shapes, but it's that really thin, it's not paper mache, but it's the really thin wood. And I'm not sure even what kind of wood it's called. I think it might be balsam wood. I'm not sure. Anyway, so I just painted it. I painted it white, and then I taped it off, and then painted the red stripes. And I painted the lid navy blue. So it kind of is how Blackbird finished it, but theirs was like this way, and then they had a wooden thing that it sat on, and then you lifted up the hat, and and you made this into the top of a drum. Does that make sense? I didn't want to do the drum, so I'll show you the inside of it. I have stuff in it already. So I just painted the inside, and then this is, I just traced this out on mat board or on chipboard, and then cut it just a little bit smaller, and then I put a piece of batting on it, and then I laced a piece of fabric on it and just glued it in. Super, super easy. This was very easy to do. Oh, I do want to say that I did white and red, and then I used that brie wax, and I waxed it to kind of give it a grungy look. So, and my mom's birthday is July 1st, and so I thought this is something that is really cute, you know, reminds me of her. You know, her birthday was, we always had a big 4th of July celebration, and my mom, you know, my mom's birthday was so close to the 4th, it was just all, to me, it was all together, and so it just kind of reminded me of my mom. So what I've put in here is just some of her, you're going to be able to see it, some of her jewelry that I got out of her jewelry box when we were cleaning out their house. My mom always wore clip-on earrings, these big clip-on earrings. And and I have the pairs. And she did not have her ears pierced until I was probably in high school. Then I think she went and got her ears pierced. So she wore clip-on earrings forever. I don't know how she did it because they would hurt my ears, but anyway, so I just put some of her costume jewelry that I got from her house and inside there. All right, now so those were my fully finishes. Now my finishes. Last night about 1 o'clock in the morning, or this morning 1 o'clock in the morning, I finished my sheep virtues finally. So this was the last one I worked on, was gratitude. And I am so grateful these are done. So my sheep are a little bit short because I stitched them, I stitched the grass, I had this border all stitched, and I had it clear up to here, the border, and the border wasn't matching up to this leaf. and I couldn't figure out why. I thought, you know what, I'm not taking all that out to figure out what it is. And then I got looking at really close, and actually there should have been another line, another row of stitches in my sheep's body. So my sheep are a little bit short. So I'll quickly go through all of these. There is Joyfulness. I'm not sure which ones I've shown you, which ones I haven't. Courage. I don't think I'd shown you this one. Friendship. And I don't know that I've shown you this one either. And then we've got Wisdom. And Love. And we're back to Gratitude. These ones are stitched on 18 count vintage country mocha using one strand of thread, all of the called for colors. All right, and then the other ones that I did stitch, and I've shown these before: Patience, Kindness, Faith, and Simplicity, and then Peace and Hope. And then this is also for part of my finishing, so I needed to stitch that. These ones are stitched on 14 count vintage country mocha. All right, now what? Oh, one more finish. It's a semi-finish. Since I finished up the May Little House Needleworks, I started as my morning stitch on this one. Well, maybe. Which is block 5 on my Prim Series stitch. I am not a professional, nor do I claim to be one. Alright, so this one, and I don't think I changed any of the colors, except for I think I made the inside of the star a lighter blue. But this one I didn't change up a whole lot, because it pretty much matched the quilt block. And I'll show you the quilt block when I get to my quilting part. So there we go. I love this. Love, love, love this. I have so enjoyed working on it. And the wind is not going to cooperate with us today. All right, that's finishes. So because I really wanted to get the sheep virtues done, and I haven't done a whole lot of stitching in the past 2 weeks, the only other thing I picked up is I finished a couple of the sheep virtues, and I thought, okay, I need a reward because I need a break, one. So my break is my reward, right? So I picked up one of my whips and spent a day on it, and then I went back to the sheep virtues. So the whip I chose to pick up, and this was in my focus pieces for May. I had 3 focus pieces for May. I focused on one, and that was the sheep virtues. So one of my focus pieces didn't get any stitching done on it, and then this one got a couple of days, because I think I finished 2 sheep virtues. I gave myself a reward and stitched on this, and then I think I did 2 more and then gave myself a reward and stitched another day on this. So this is Things Unseen by Lizzie Kate, and it's a 3-part mystery that she did, but this is what it looks like because the mystery is over. It's been over for years. And I did not take this out of the Q-snaps because everything you see there is all that's done. So on those couple of days that I did stitch on this is actually fast stitching. I stitched this. It's going to be hard to see, but there's a row here, and I think I stitched the words, at least these words. And then there's a row of stitching here. I stitched this part of the border clear down, and then I started on these flowers and the bee. So, and because I'm done with Sheep Virtues, today I'm going to work on this again because I have a new start tomorrow, but not till tomorrow. So this will be my stitching for tonight. So, all right, what else? So that's all of the stitching I've done. That's it. Sorry, I need to move some stuff so I can have room to put stuff. Okay, so let's go into, what time is it? Let's go into the one other thing that I worked on this week, that I made. This was kind of this is an unexpected make. So I wanted to keep track of my garden and what I planted, where I planted it, what, like what kind of carrots did I plant, what kind of green beans did I plant, I wanted to keep track of all of this stuff. And because this is my first year with the two, so I had a raised garden bed last year and I loved it, but I only did cucumbers and tomatoes and acorn squash. That's all I did. And so this year I added a lot of stuff, and I wanted to, so I would know if I wanted to buy the same kind of green beans next year or the same kind of cucumbers next year, or so I wanted to keep track of it. And I could just write it in a notebook, right? But what fun is that? So I had bought these notebooks that are all flowery, and I thought I'm going to make this into a journal for my gardening. So I made a junk journal, and I'm just going to show you really quick. So this says 2021 growing season, and I just made a little pocket here for these tags. So on these tags, what I have done is I have 3 raised garden beds. So I have 3 tags in here. And then what I did is on the back side of them, I wrote, like, this is the shape of my garden bed. And so I wrote what I planted. Like right here is red pepper, green pepper, yellow peppers. I did radishes right here along the edge. I did an heirloom tomato, and I put the kind, it's a pineapple tomato. I did 2 plants of cucumbers. Anyway, so you get the idea. So each one of these is for each raised garden bed. Then over here, and then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take pictures. Like, I've took some pictures. I just need to go in and get them printed out of what it looks like right now. And then I want to take one like mid-March or mid-July, and then maybe take one at the end of August. And then I'm going to put pictures, photographs, right here and maybe right here. These tags, this one shows everything I planted and the day I planted it. So I would have an idea, when I planted it and all that. I do have one little spot that is like 2 feet by 6 feet that's actually in the ground, and I planted red potatoes in there, and I did plant some onions, and so this tag is just for that one. Alright, so then I have this page, and this says front yard perennials planted in 2021. Now, in my years to come, I won't have this because we planted all the perennials I think we're going to be planting this year. Um, we're not planting, we probably won't plant any next year. Um, because what we did last fall is completely tear up our front yard. We tore out, because we needed to replace the sprinkler system. We had a tree in there that had died a few years previous, and we had cut it down so the stump was still there. And then we had another tree that was also dying. The top was dead. It was still getting green down towards the bottom, but the root system on it had tore up my sprinkler system. So last fall, we tore out all the trees. We took that tree down. We tore out the stumps. We tore out all the grass. We tore out the sprinkler system. And then we went in, had somebody come in, re-level it. And then, so we did all that work ourselves. Then somebody came in and leveled it and laid sod for us. So really, I had a blank slate this spring. So this is all the perennials that I planted in the front. And I kept the little tags off of them because it gives you information of what you need to know of each thing. So, and I just kept, I mean, I planted several peonies and several different things, but I just kept one tag of each of them. And then this page is front yard notes. So what I'm going to do on this one is I'm going to write, like, I'll put notes. It's actually a little pocket here. And I will put some notes in there, like when I need to prune down the perennials. Do I prune them in the spring or do I prune them in the fall? Because some of them have do in spring and the fall and stuff like that. So I'm going to keep notes in here of things like that. Over here is front yard notes for 2021. So what I'm going to keep on here is how many petunias I planted, how many geraniums I planted, and things like that. So I know next year when I go to plant, I know how many I need to buy, and I don't have to make several trips back, or I don't buy too many or whatever. So in 2022, when I do my layout for 2022, I won't have this front yard notes. I'll just have the 2022 notes, if that makes sense. And then I did the same thing with the backyard, because our backyard was pretty much the same. Although we did plant grass and have been planting things for the last couple of years. We had also started with a blank slate in the back like 4 years ago. And so this year we finished planting all the perennials we are planting back here. I might plant some daylilies next year, but anyway, so I just have the tags from what we've planted back here. And then I'll have the same thing, backyard notes, and then I'll also have this for the petunias and the geraniums and the annuals, that I planted, so I know how many I had for the backyard and all of that. And then this page has a pocket here and a pocket here. And I'm just going to put notes in here, and it says 2021 notes. And I'm just going to write down things, how, like I'll put on, I'm just going to have a piece of notebook paper. And one of the notes I'll put is I had to replant my carrots. I had to replant my green beans. What I would change next year if the type of corn I got was not, we didn't like it. Let's try a new one. Just notes that I'm going to have that I want to remember from year to year. So anyway, and then this is just a notebook. It's nothing fancy. I had scrapbook. This was free. Other than the notebook itself, all of doing the pages and everything was free because it was all for my scrapbooking days. And so, and it's going to be a journal of my gardening, but it's just a regular notebook, so nothing fancy. Anyway, so that is also something I have been working on. All right, so I think I'm going to go into my plans for cross stitching, and then I'm going to do a quilting video separate. So I'm going to go into my plans for cross stitching, and then I'll end this video, and then I'll do my video for my quilting, just because it's going to go too long if I do one whole video. Okay, so let's start here. My first first thing I want to show you is this is my Memorial Day start. It's called Union Forever. It's by Maggie Bonomi. She is actually a wool designer, but she has a few cross stitch. And this is actually under the Blackbird name. I think they must have produced it for her or something, I'm not sure. And I am going to stitch it on, I don't know if this is even going to show up. It's kind of a blue gray fabric, 14 count Aida that I had tea and coffee dyed. And let's see if I can get the colors here. These are going to be my colors. I have colors for another project on here, so these will be my colors. So anyway, sounds like someone's tearing up their yard. I don't know, maybe. So anyway, this is going to be my Memorial Day start, so I'll start this tomorrow. I've been starting so many big projects. I needed something small that I can get done quick. All right, so the rest of my plans are, so for June, I have a birthday, Flag Day, and the first day of summer. So I will have 3 new starts in June. My first start, so I don't think I want to do this one. Actually, hold please. We're going to start with my focus pieces for June. Okay, so my focus pieces for June, what I'm doing for June and July is I'm doing all patriotic. I have a few patriotic starts that I would like to get some really good progress on them. One of them is a huge project, and I just want to get a lot of progress done on it. So June is going to be all about the patriotic. So my focus pieces for June is what I'm going to show you first, and then I'll show you my plans. So the first focus piece I have is Summer Jubilee, and this is my working copy. And this was in, I got mine in the magazine. It was August of 2003, and I think it was just Cross Stitch magazine. And yeah, it's since been released in the book. But I had started it last, when did I start this? I started it last July. So this is where I'm at on it. That's where I'm at on it. So this is going to be one of my focus pieces for the month of June. And I'm hoping between June and July that this one will be finished. And this is being stitched on 14 count Misty Blue, and it's Swigart. So that's focus piece number 1. Focus piece number 2 is a huge one, and it is Liberty's Welcome by Plum Street. Now, the story about this one, originally started this one like 4 years ago, and I started on 14 count Aida, and I had fabric I had dyed. I had the entire house done. I had most of the grass done. In fact, let me see. So I had the entire house done with the exception of the filling of the windows. But the whole house was filled in. I had all of the grass, I had the letters in, so I had Liberty's Welcome in, and I had all the grass filled in up to like this point. And I decided I hated it. And I didn't like the fabric. I just did not like the fabric. So I bagged it. I threw it away. I have never done that with a project before. Just thrown it away. But I did that one. So I decided I wanted to restart it. And I restarted it last July. Let me see if I can get some information on this. Goodness, where's my paper? Okay, so I started it last July, and I am stitching on Vintage Sampler by Victorian Motto, and it's 18 count. And this is where I'm at. Well, help if the needle minder wasn't in the way, right? Okay, there we go. So I am filling in the roof again. The windows are completely done. So I think what I'm going to try to do in the month of June is I'm going to try to get the house all outlined and the windows done. Because in July I'm going on vacation, and since I'm going to work on Patriotic in July too, I want to be able to take this on vacation and just do fill in. So anyway, that's where I'm at. I'm using all of the called for DMC floss. So, and I am using one strand of floss, and I am liking this a lot better than before. All right, and then my other focus piece for July is the Early American series by Little House Needleworks. And I started this year on President's Day, and I'm stitching it as one piece. And this is the one I started on, was the center block, because I figured if I did the center block, then I could go to any one of the blocks around it and start. And I am stitching this on a piece of 14 count Confederate Gray by Swigart. And it is kind of a grayish blue color. And this is where I'm at on it. So that was my one day of stitching, because I only stitched on it the day I started it. So my goal is for the month of June to get this block finished and for sure start on another one. So, and like I said, I'm stitching it as one piece. Okay, now we will quickly go on to the rest of my plans for June. So like I said, I can have three starts in June. I have a birthday, Flag Day, and the first day of spring. So because I'm doing patriotic stitching the whole month, for Flag Day, I'm not doing a patriotic start. I have a couple of FB some stitching of bees. So it's in my Wild Honey bag. And I have no idea which one I'm going to start, but I'm going to start two of these. So one will be started for Flag Day, and one will be started for my granddaughter's birthday. And anyway, I'll just show you what I've chosen. This is Honey Hamlet by Artful Offerings. And I have a piece of, I think it's 18 count Vanilla Latte by Be Stitch Me, I think, in here for it. I will give you more information on the details when I decide which one I'm going to start. The other one I have in here is called The Beekeeper by Plum Street. And I was just going to stitch the bee skept and the little bowl it's sitting in, but I decided I'm changing up her dress colors, And I am going to stitch the whole thing. That's what I've decided. But I am changing her dress. And this is just kitted up. I'm not sure the fabric. It's 18 count. I do know that. All right, and then the other one I have in here that I might start is called Honeybee Sampling by Little House Needleworks. And this one is going to be stitched on a piece of 14 count Aida in the color, I dyed it, I think it's called Evening Blue, and then I dunked it in denim. To give you the color. And then the other one that is a maybe start is Birds and the Bees by Heart and Hand. Had this one for a long time. And the fabric I chose is called Mellow by Picture This Plus. And it's just a really pretty, it's 14 count, it's just a really pretty creamy yellow. That's what I'm going to stitch this on. This is what I stitched which one was it? The lady that had the huge hips, you know? I stitched on this. Anyway. So anyway, one of those will be started on Flag Day, and one will be started on my granddaughter's birthday. Just don't know which one yet. I haven't decided. Okay, the last thing I'm going to show you for my plans for June is on the first day of June, or the first day of summer, I'm going to start Summer at Hollyberry Farm by Stacy Nash. Love this one. I started the Halloween one last October. Love it. And I'm going to start the Christmas one this year. Probably Christmas Day, I think, is going to be my Christmas Day start. And I'm stitching it on a piece of 18 count fabric that I dyed. This is, oh, it's so pretty. It has a little bit of modeling in it, but not a whole lot. I used one part Evening Blue to 2 parts Pearl Gray. So it's just a really pretty bluish gray color. And it's 18 count. So those are my plans for June. Yay! All right, one other thing before I go into my quilting. I still have one of these left. The winner for this one was Grandma Starbuck, and she has not contacted me yet. If you are Grandma Starbuck and you're watching this, I'm going to go in and leave a comment on your comment from the video that I was doing the giveaway. The other winner did let me know that I had put my wrong email address in there. And so I have since changed that. So if you have been trying to email me and haven't been able to because it's been the wrong email address, I have went in and fixed that. But and I'm going to comment on your comment. So please get a hold of me so I can send this out to you. If I don't hear from you by my next video, I'm going to do another drawing. I'll go back into that same video and do another drawing for this. So please, if you are Grandma Starbuck, please get a hold of me for this magazine. Okay, so I am going to go into video number 2 with my quilting. See you in a minute.